Thank you for tuning in to SANGAHZ The Podcast with me, Romeo Johnson, where we celebrate extraordinary singers and learn from industry veterans.
Is this good enough? Am I good enough? Because again, when you're raised in this and you're like conditioned to compare yourself.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to know is to compare yourself. And so for me, I felt like the kind of songs that I was writing, kind of music I was doing, it didn't sound like everybody else's. So I was just like, I don't know if anybody. So I would like kind of release it quietly, or I would kind of do it at a live show and people would have such a great response. But for me, it was just kind of like, I just don't know. Or it wasn't perfect enough. I dealt with perfectionism as well.
Yes, of course.
And just like this idea of like, it just has to be perfect. Also because of my family, right? So everybody is very critical, very much judgy. And so again, when you're conditioned to judge yourself, it's like, that's all you do. And so I felt like it wasn't until the last 3 years of deep therapy as a person that I just started to free myself from those like conditions of like, I need to please this person. I need to please this person. Asking myself those hard questions of like, what is it that I want to do? And what have I allowed to be my experience? It's not my experience. That's not mine to have. So all those hard questions have happened. And so now I'm in a lot more of a freer space, but still looking for that connection with that person or those people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What are some of the things that you learned about touring that made you feel like, you know what, I could see me doing this. I would enjoy doing that.
As far as being a touring singer?
Yeah. Being a solo artist, you know, traveling the world, sharing your music. And then the flip side of that. What are some things that you saw that you thought, I don't know if I could deal with all of that?
I think for me, it was just, there's no other feeling than to sit on a stage, be your most vulnerable self, share your most vulnerable pieces of music, and have people just experience it and feel like it changed their life in some regard. Every artist that I see or I've sung with or worked with, it's like the people that are coming to see them is their tribe.
That's right.
They are there because they love what they do.
When they were going there, they knew what they were going to see.
That's what they signed up for, right? So it's like the artist is able to be as free as they want to be because the people are there to see them.
I've already accepted them.
You know what I'm saying? You're already accepted. And so I want to experience that. Yep. And I always said, like, it could be in a smaller, so like I love theater performances. You know what I mean? I toured with this artist named Idina Menzel, and she was the original Wicked, and she's done all the things. But she released an album, and it was just theaters. And I was like, I love this. Like, I would love to do this. I've seen Gregory Porter in concert.
What a voice.
Number one. But the kind of venues that he does is just like intimate, you know what I mean? Like, it's not stadiums. It's just like intimate settings and concert halls. And like, I'm like, I love that, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a large scale, but it's just like, I want to find my tribe, the people that get me and I can express myself. So that's the part I was attractive. And then, of course, you're doing what you love for a living.
Right.
It's amazing. The flip side of it, being away from home sucked. And I hated it.
Yeah.
Love traveling though. So it was really a double-edged sword. I traveled the world, right? So it's like I'm a Gemini. So I am a natural explorer. I love to see all of the things. And so I love that.
Of course.
But hate being away from home and missing all of the birthdays and all of the events and big moments. So I hated that. One thing I never liked, people that are toxic around them. I never want that to be me.
Absolutely.
You know? People that will just feed you fluff because they want to be in your good graces. Or if they see you having toxic behavior, they're encouraging that. You know, I would see that. And I'm like, no, you just have a bunch of yes men around you that's enabling your bad behavior.
Come on, Sharon. Come on.
For me, I hated that. You know what I mean? Because I was just like, I never wanted to be a part of this industry and change and morph into a different person.
I wish you were in my age group. You'd have been on all my tours. It would have been me, you, and Mika Colette killing everything.
Oh, Mika, my baby.
Did you know that we're cousins?
Now that you said that, I feel like it vaguely rings a bell. I feel like
Yeah.
I remember y'all saying that at one point.
Yep. 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 That's my
Yeah,
cousin.
I remember that. My name has always meant so much to me. And because I never wanted to be known for being unprofessional, number one, but just mean and nasty and like you can't work with her. She's difficult, you know?
Right. Right.
So it's just not my way, but also it's just like it's not beneficial for my career as well. And
Right.
so I would see different scenarios where people would just show up in very ugly ways.
And being the way that we are, having the discernment that we have, we can't not see it.
No, no, that's what I'm saying.
Can't
Like
not
it's
see it.
paying attention. Like,
Hmm.
first of all, also learning that the person that you think is the smallest in the room, you never know what they have access to.
That's right.
And so for me, it's like treat every single person well,
Anyway, just anyway,
just because.
just
Just
because.
because.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
yes, those are some of the big things, but also just not wanting to like let money rule me
Oh,
and
facts.
take over my decision making has probably
Absolutely.
been a big one. Like I've had to turn down opportunities because it's just not I can't do this toxic environment,
Absolutely.
you
And
know?
so have I. I know exactly what you.
Yeah.
I've been on gigs and had to step away from them because it was toxic, and of course it was against anything that anybody else would have advised. They were like, "Why would you?
Oh yes.
Don't?
Oh
Are you
yes.
kidding me?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's just not worth it. You know, it's just not enough money. I just really believe that God is my provider anyway. So
Yeah, hello.
whatever you're trying to keep from me, He'll give it to me."
Yes.
In order to have that type of atmosphere or that type of attitude, I'm sorry, and be effective with it, you got to be good. You know what I'm saying?
That's
In
fair.
order to say, listen, I'm not willing to do that. This and you can't be that and whack.
Fair. It's funny. I talk about people's requests, right? Because people can have very grand requests. And my thing is, does your resume match your request?
Come on, come on.
Because let's remember where we come from, okay? And where we are. Let's not get too far
Exactly.
ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, it's not balancing.
It's not valid. You've done one thing. Relax,
I
okay?
like that. Yeah, because a lot of times people don't really know. So they go for what they heard someone else done.
Exactly.
That's that person. You know what I'm saying? They've done much more than you. They've been in the game much longer than you. You
Exactly.
know,
Exactly. And
that is
also,
so
like,
good.
it's okay to wait your turn. Even when you
Hmm.
feel like you deserve more, it's still okay
Yeah,
to wait your turn.
so good. When I'm around Patrice Rushen and people like Phil Perry that's been in this game for years, I'm 15 years old.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't care what I've done.
1,000%.
When they talk, even though you may have done a lot, there are times, there are rooms, there are atmosphere that you just need to kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be in a room and Quincy Jones is telling a story and you try to tell your comparable story over talking him. It looks crazy.
I've
It's
seen it
just
done.
good to just chill. You mentioned something earlier with the artist. You never try to get chummy chummy with them. You this
Mm,
and the other. I've been the same way. I tell people the best thing you can do for any artist is let them know that you're going to have that part, and they can rely on that
yes.
harmony being there. They can
Yes.
rely on that bass line being there. They can rely that that drum beat is going to be right. That's what's going to make them like you more than anything.
For sure.
When you're new, kind of ease into the situation.
He's it.
I had this one person that I would hire, really good singer. But when I tell you, every time they would get into an atmosphere where they're new, or maybe the whole section is new, all the band members, they've been playing together in this band for 10 years. When they start to go back and forth and they're doing mama jokes or whatever, you shouldn't be laughing loud. You know, when he says, "Yo, mom, you,"
Relax.
nah, let them do that thing. You know, if it's real funny, I get one of those. But don't out laugh them. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Don't be the person that comes in and walks up to the artist. What's up? How you doing? What you do yesterday? How was your weekend?
Oh my God. People that get too comfortable too quick is
Too
crazy to me. Like,
comfortable,
where do you get
too
the audacity?
quick.
I'm trying to figure out where does it come from? And some people think like flattery is going to win them points.
And it
And
doesn't.
overdoing it is going to win them points when they're like, you don't realize sometimes, oftentimes, it turns people off.
It's complete reverse.
Yes, it's a complete reverse.
It's the
A
complete
lot of artists
reverse.
don't like for somebody to feel like they can be too comfortable with them.
Mm-mm.
Like
They don't.
your boss is not your friend. At the end
Thank
of
you.
the day. They're not your friend. You know,
Come
you
on
have
now,
rare circumstances where you have an artist that you are really good, like you are friends with, but it's rare and it's usually after
I
years.
was gonna say, even when it happens, it's
Yeah,
not immediate. It's not the first
no, it's
week. It's
definitely
not
not
the first.
immediate. And
No,
there's still boundaries within that where it's just like,
it's
okay, this is cool.
still boundaries.
And this
Absolutely. I don't
is
care how many years. That's so true.
it's cool when people have that scenario, but like you also have to know how to steward that and figure out the balance in that,
Yes,
and like even like hanging out with the boss at a club afterwards. I've always been like, I'm gonna go to the hotel, I'm gonna go ahead and I've just always been that person, not even just because I'm
Sharon.
a homebody, because it's not even necessarily that, but it's more so because like I don't know what you're
Sharon.
looking at.
Sharon.
I feel like you are gonna be paying attention, and
Listen, I swear you are my little sister. They used to make fun of me. We're all going to such and such after the show. You going? You going? You going? I know you ain't going. I'm like, dang.
1,000%. No, Matt.
When I was coaching on The Voice, we would travel with the casting team to find the singers from city to city. Romeo, why don't you ever hang out with us? It's just not my thing. Number one, once I work all day, I want to go rest. That's number
Period.
one.
Number one, two, and three for sure.
Number one, two, and three.
For sure.
You know, I'm just of that mindset that if we're working together, you really don't need to see another side. You don't need to see
Yeah, it's
that
just like
side of
catch
me.
me. Like, first of all, I've never been a person that like gets out of control in any scenario. I've never been drunk before, so it's like I don't.
Me
It's not
either.
even. I can say the wrong.
I had no idea. I had no idea. This
Yeah,
is
I'm just
crazy.
like I can get. What if you're not in the mood and I can be too comfortable in that moment and
Right.
you get turned off? Like it can be any little. Like first of all, artists are finicky.
Artists are finicky.
And they
Yep.
can be very fickle.
Yep.
They can be very moody. So it's like
Absolutely.
catch you on the wrong day.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. It's not you. It's gonna be
It's not.
me.
I'm gonna be the one to pay for it.
Hello. And I've heard of
Mm-hmm.
so many stories of musicians and singers where they're just acting a fool,
Yeah.
and it gets. And even when the artist is not there,
Mm-hmm.
the crew is there. The people are there. It's going to get back.
Everything gets back to the
Because
artist.
again, all of it is a part of, now you're part of the bigger brand. It's
Mm-hmm.
no longer your brand, it's the artist brand in and out of working environments.
No doubt.
I,
Especially if you're on a tour, because wherever
exactly.
you are, you're still part of that.
It's like you got to pay attention to what you're doing. For me, I just avoid it. Like I'll hang out with the band members and the singers outside
Yeah. Yeah.
because we're friends, but
Mm-hmm.
outside of that, I'm not doing it. This is what I will say. I don't want to come off as like the antisocial person either.
Right.
So there are moments where I'm like, okay, I'll come in a room and I have a little, little sip here, like I'll have a
Mm-hmm.
fry, you know what I'm saying? I'll have a wing. I'm here, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Right.
I'll stay probably all of maybe like 20 to 30 minutes. But it's a
Sharon,
rare
Sharon,
thing.
this is really scary. I don't even like at this point. I just want to call people that I know and just like you tell her because I'm. It's gonna sound like I'm talking smack right now. At some point, she's gonna be like, "Come on,
That is
man, we don't have that much in common." That's an ongoing joke that if I do go someplace, I'll go in and I'm like, I just want to go in enough for people to say, I saw him, he was there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
He
saw
just
his
does
face, he
that.
was there. I'll go in and say hey to people, hey, what's going on, blah, blah.
Yes.
Happy birthday, and none of that. So I'm so proud of you, blah, whatever it is. And then we joke, I moonwalk out the front door.
Listen, I'm out. Okay.
30
Begging me like,
minutes
come on,
max.
Sharon, please, please, please. And I'm like,
I had
guys.
no idea
Yeah.
that we had so much in common. That's hilarious. You've said so much already that can educate and bless people just with what we've talked about. But I want to direct people to you and let them see what you're doing on your own
Yeah.
platform.
So the 360 Creative is an organization I've started. It's been some years in the making. At first, it started off as called the Transplant Hub, which is going to be a branch of it. For me, I've had a passion for transplants, right? Being from LA and always experiencing a newcomer to the city and
Yeah.
seeing how they've navigated, I've always been like, God, this can be done a lot better. So many scenarios that I see creatives be in and they'll put themselves in
Mm-hmm.
because of lack of understanding, lack of knowledge. A lot of people have an idea of being an artist means that you kind of have to tap out of your real life to a certain extent. Like
Right.
if I'm not full blown 10 toes down 24 hours, 7 days a week in my whatever creative field that I want to be in, I'm losing. I am not enough, or I am not putting enough into my career. And that is just not true, right? There has to be a balance of like taking care of your responsibilities as a grown adult and also pursuing your career. So like the idea of getting a 9 to 5 if you need to, or a part-time job if you need to sustain yourself and not burdening people by living on their couches and overextending your stays at places where you're, you know what I mean? Because you just don't want to get a job,
Teach,
you know,
please.
or if living in your car and putting yourself in unfortunate scenarios just because you have too much pride or you
Right.
feel like I'm just it's all about my career. It's all about, and it's just like you got to find the balance of real life and also pursuing your career and then figuring out how to merge the two. But you need money and income to exist in the world, right? Especially a place like LA. So finding multiple streams of income, tapping into the other parts of yourself, right? So take you and I, for example. There's commas next to your name. You're a singer, but you're also a bass player, and you're also a vocal coach, and you're also a mentor. You're also many different things. For me, I was the same. My logical brain, I'm great at admin stuff. You know what I mean? I'm great at researching things and I
Yeah.
find resources, and I am somebody who likes to teach. Like, so there's different parts of myself where it's like you got to
Yes.
tap into those things in the
Right.
interim until you get to where you want to be. So for me, my passion has always been like helping transplants just navigate better, like teaching him to understand the business acumen that is important to know how to negotiate, how to
Absolutely.
advocate for yourself, and be willing to say no. Willing to say no because you accepting this is not only a disservice to yourself, but it's a disservice to everybody who's coming behind you.
Yeah, because now you're sending a message that that's acceptable.
Yeah, because you're teaching people how to treat you and everybody else, right? So it's teaching people how to have those kind of conversations, talking about contracts, like at least know what the most important things to look out for. Get involved in the business of your life and your career because it's going to take you to steer the wheel or it can go awry very quickly. There's 4 pillars: business acumen, discovering who you are authentically as a person. Like, who are you?
Who
There's
are you?
no way to discover who you are as an artist without discovering who you are as a person first. Like, let's discover that. Then, purpose. What is your why? If you don't have a foundational why, you will be tossed to and fro because somebody's going to give you a why.
If you don't know one, they will give you
They
one.
will give you they will give you a why. It can't be
You're right.
just based on money. It can't just
Right.
be based on I want to be famous.
Right.
Has to be rooted in something that is deeply foundational to you. So it's authenticity, purpose, business acumen, and the last thing is mental health. I feel like it's such an underserved community. Just speak to the hearts of creatives. Like, let's unpack, why do you feel insecure? What does this comparison come from? What does perfectionism come from? We got to unpack those things because you will sabotage your life and your career moving forward if we don't uncover what is going on here.
Good stuff.
And so all of those 4 pillars will help you become more well-rounded. And so the company, I haven't officially launched it yet, but it's coming.
It's so necessary, but not just anyone could do it.
Very
So it's, you just said it yourself. You have to know who you are as a person. You can see at an early stage how God is developing someone. I was telling my good friend Brayley Evans, actress,
Yeah.
singer, everyone, including the enemy, can
Mhm.
see in the early stages what God
Including
is
the
laying
enemy.
out for your life. I say God is like our manufacturer. I think it's incredible that you've told us how you were super shy, how it
Yeah.
was pulled out of you, how you had insecurities, all this and the other. And that's why you're so sensitive about helping people
Yes.
get past that. I
Correct.
get it. I just kept saying, I got to get Sharon on here. I want to get you on here because you're a dope singer. You know what I'm saying? And you're a beautiful woman. So that's something else I want to talk about. And I started to watch your posts and I'm like, oh, she gets it. And there were times I was like, that's dope. Like, I say that too. But I had no idea. I'm telling you, we're like the same person. You're
Like,
like my little
literally.
sister.
I've had to embrace this new iteration of my life. It is one big pivot, right? And not that I'm pivoting completely away from being a singer. I will always be that, right? But
Right, right, right.
my focus is now turning significantly, and finding out this is actually who I've always been. I've always been an empath. I've always been a teacher. I've always had a passion to like give what I know, knowledge, connecting people. I love connecting people. So I've always had the same heart for
I
this, you
can't.
know?
Oh, this is so amazing.
And crazy enough, I won't go too deep into this, but I was let go of a job that I've had for a very long time, a
Oh
gig.
wow. Okay.
Okay. I kind of don't want to say who it is, but I kind of do, but I don't.
A singing job.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I've never been let go of any job ever,
Feel you.
ever.
Feel you.
And the reason why is because I advocated for myself and for other people.
Baby girl.
And so, yeah, I've always been the vocal director for the background singers. And so I was always the advocate, right? So I'm going to speak up first, always, standard. I have no fear about it. But then people start to rely on you for that.
True that.
So we had all come into an agreement of like, all right, we're going to talk about this new rate because we've been at this rate for a while. And at this point, we deserved, whatever. So we were going to all go in and have the conversation. And only two of us had it. And so the two of us that had it got let go for having it. And the crazy part, we didn't even have it. I was just like, hey, before I sign this contract, I just want to have a conversation about compensation moving forward. That's all I said. They were like, oh, we're going to go in a different direction. I was there for years.
I got you.
So,
Got you.
yeah, it was such a blow
Yeah.
because I didn't do nothing wrong. I was only trying to do something right, right? I didn't ask for anything, actually. I didn't even threaten nothing. Nothing in my control could have made this go any different. I literally did what I felt I needed to do, right?
In the most
In
respectful way
the
that you
most
could do it.
professional and respectful way. And the scenario happened the way it happened.
This is so spooky.
So for
I'm just gonna
me, so for me, I
spooky.
could not reconcile it for a minute. Like it took a minute. It was like a grieving process because, as much as I teach this, because I think it's very important not to find your identity in any opportunity that you get.
True that.
But it's hard to not be attached to something that you've invested so much time, years into, thinking you have great relationships, and then find out in 2 seconds it's gone. It was rough, but I say all of that to say I would have never pivoted in the
There you go.
direction that I'm pivoting in if I'd never been in that scenario.
I was just gonna say that was 100% God basically saying this was a blessing I gave you. It's time to move to the next one. If you listen to how we articulate, it bothering you, you had started to attach more to that gift. Then God's like, don't get attached to the gift. I'm the one that gave you the gift. Okay, I'm gonna pull that gift away so I can give you another one.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Whew.
And it's so easy. We're still human. We have feelings. We have
Exactly.
emotions. It's hard to not feel like, ouch. You know what I'm saying?
Like, ouch.
Yep. But God will always, well, with me, He forever kept switching things up. Every time it happened, it would take me a minute to remind myself, wait, don't get attached to anything.
I will never not advocate because every scenario, because it's been many over the years where I've been the one to advocate, it's always gone well. Where it's like, oh, yeah, absolutely. Because my resolve will always be. I don't value anything outside of myself more than I value my integrity, more than I value myself, my gift. Like it's never going to happen. So like my resolve is like you say, if you fire me, you fire me. It is what
There
it
you
is.
go.
But I'm going to say what I got to say in the most professional way.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
say it. This was the first ever scenario where it went the other way. And because it was like, I am professional, right? And I left the space for the conversation. It was nobody was going around like, oh, I demand this and demand that.
Right.
Then and when you said what you said, I was like, it would have literally went like, do you have room for more on the budget to, for us to get a raise? And if not, no worries. I was gonna say literally just that. They didn't even give us the opportunity to do
Didn't
that.
even let you go that far.
It didn't even get that far. And I'm just like, after all of these years, it's that easy. That's wild to me.
Yep. In that moment, it's so easy for us to be bothered by they don't value what I've brought to the table. They don't value me as a person. I tried to train myself to flip it and go, this is my opportunity to value who they are as a person.
Okay.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
definitely taught me that.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Really?
For me, I think it was also a blow because I had such a great relationship with my boss.
Right.
Top tier, fantastic, like for 12 years consistently. Never had one
Mm-hmm.
issue ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking like that's not a thing. Like why would that be a thing? And it's
Right.
like this industry again, fickle. You never know what way it's gonna go. But what I didn't do though was regret my decision.
Oh no.
And that's why I got to still
Thank you.
walk away with the confidence like I did what I should have done. And
Absolutely.
it went the way it was supposed to. It was out of my control. But it was just that dang. You know what I mean?
I get it.
But here I am, right? I am in a new lane, figuring that out and seeing where that goes. But I do know that it's something that I'm deeply passionate about.
You're still the woman God made you to be. You
Yes.
still have the gift that God gave you. The same value that you brought to that person, somebody else is just waiting to connect with you. If that's what you decide to do. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
For me, I think it's important to talk about, even when you have all great successes, it's like everybody goes through
Yes.
periods of, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
a period of
Absolutely.
transition
Yeah. What in the world just happened? I don't understand.
where it's really uncomfortable, where you don't know what the next is going to be, right? There's a lot of trust in that, but that's why it goes back to having that foundational thing there, like something that grounds you so
Yeah.
that you're not falling into deep depression, that you're not falling into this idea of I'm not enough. And not to say it hasn't been tough, but there's going to be a point where you have to make a decision. It's like, I'm going to let the past be the past.
Right.
This is where I am now. I'm accepting what it is because
Mm-hmm.
no one person is in control of my career.
That's right.
Nobody.
That's right.
The message in all of that is just trust that God has it all in control. Like it's
100%.
gonna be okay.
That's it.
It's it.
That's it. That's the foundation of everything. You're like a treasure chest right now because it's so many things that I can bring up and talk about now coming from you that would carry so much weight that it wouldn't coming from me. You talked about being in rooms and spaces where there's a flirtation and things like that from guys in the industry. I want to talk about how you responded to that. There was a time once when I was coaching. I was still in LA in Sherman Oaks. Someone sent this young lady to me to coach her. Incredibly attractive. Came to the session, true enough, it was middle of summertime. It was blazing hot, but she was like,
He was
she was
like,
dressed accordingly. She was dressed accordingly, right? And she walked into the room. She walked into my room, and I'm like, I'm always professional. I record every session, live session, everything. I record everything. So she came into the room and she did her thing, and we addressed her vocal issues. And she's like, "Oh my God, I can feel a difference already. In one lesson, you helped me so much." I'm like, "Great." She paid me. She said, "Can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yes." She said, "So a friend of mine told me when I was coming out here that every woman that is successful in the music industry at some point had to sleep with somebody. What do you think about that?" I said, "No, I don't believe that. It's definitely a thing, but I don't think every woman. No. How would you suggest to young women coming into that type of situation? What's the best way you think to handle that, where they don't ruin a situation or overreact, but at the same time they don't let people think, oh, this is okay. I can keep doing this."
how I've navigated it for me, because it is a tricky space for the exact reasons that you said. It's definitely how you respond. Again, because of my natural personality, I let things roll off my back very easily, right? So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not easily offended
Right.
by most things.
Right.
And so what you have to reconcile with yourself from the beginning is that this is going to happen. So there's a
Oh,
preparation that you have to have going into any scenario.
facts.
There's a guard, there's a preparation, not guard as in scared.
Mm-hmm. A boundary.
Yeah, boundary. Have your boundaries. Do not show up in spaces where you feel uncomfortable. If you feel uncomfortable where it's like they're pressing, it's absolutely okay to excuse yourself or say, "Hey,
Yep.
no, I'm not comfortable with that."
Mm-hmm.
In a nice way. You don't have to be rude about it.
Right.
Most of the time, it's not so overt. They're usually
Mm-hmm.
like kind of sly with it or like little comments that they'll say. It's never happened particularly with me. The only time I've seen it really, really overt is if they feel like they can dominate. Like the person is
Mm,
too insecure or they're too shy or they
got
won't
you.
say anything. They'll
Mm-hmm.
feel like they can monopolize off that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's important to have your own confidence. And if you don't, have somebody with you.
Come
Like if you're
on.
in a studio session or something like that, bring
You
somebody with you.
you took the very next thing I was gonna
Yeah,
say.
like
If you don't have that, have someone with you.
have somebody with you. You know what I mean? But if it's like a tour thing, they're not going to be over the top like usually
Right.
with it. They'll flirt and they'll see how far
Mm-hmm.
they can go. But I
Yep.
usually just laugh like, boy, please, bye.
And like you said, you're careful about the situations you allowed yourself to be in as
Be
well.
smart. Always be
Yeah.
paying attention. It bothers me, if I'm honest, when I hear some women be like, I don't even know how like this happened, or like I don't know. But then it's like you're in his room at midnight. Well, he was saying like he wanted to like just watch a show, and I'm like, girl, if you don't cut it out,
Well, I don't know what made him think just because I was there at
no,
1 in the
like
morning
literally,
with
like
my pajamas on that I wanted to.
yeah,
He tripping.
yeah. But on the opposite side, I do have empathy to a certain extent, with the naivety of it
Yeah.
all, right?
Yeah.
And that's why it's important to have a mentor, have somebody, a community, some people that you can talk to about this. But don't let people manipulate you into thinking, oh, if you can just, come hang out or just come, then we'll talk about
Right.
it then. You know what I mean? Come have
Right.
a drink in my room. Like that's
Right.
manipulation. If they can have a
Right.
conversation in their room, they can have a conversation at the bar downstairs
Absolutely.
or in a public
Absolutely.
restaurant. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like
Yep.
be aware, be on guard, create your
Yeah.
boundaries. Don't let someone intimidate you or make you feel like they can make or break your career if you don't do something.
That's
If
right.
you're uncomfortable, if you feel like they're on at something else, be like, no. And be
Yeah.
willing to lose out on the opportunity.
That's the part.
Yeah,
That's
like
the
people
part.
are too scared, like, this is
Mm-hmm.
my one opportunity. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Promise you.
No, it's not.
Promise you it's not.
Yeah.
So you have
Yeah.
to believe that you are enough, number one, that your
Mm-hmm.
gift is enough, number two, and
That's
that
it.
that's it. If you make a decision for whatever reason that you're uncomfortable, there will be others.
Mm-hmm.
There will be others. And
That's a very. It's very important what you just said. And it's what I was saying earlier. In order to have certain attitudes, you got to be good at what you do. A lot of times, um,
yeah, I
a
know
lot of
where
times,
you're going with this.
women. How'd you say?
'Cause I feel like I know where you're gonna go with this.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people put themselves in that predicament because they already know I ain't really that talented. So I really want to.
That's it.
If this is what I kind of need to do, hopefully it won't turn too bad.
Yeah.
But when you put that time in and hone your craft, like you said, you can be like, I'm willing to step away from it because if you really respect me and my craft, the moment that I say I'm uncomfortable, you should be like, don't want to make you uncomfortable. Where would you rather be? But it's just good for women to hear that
Yeah.
from a young woman
Yeah,
who's
absolutely. Definitely. It's okay to create boundaries because you're gonna as a woman you're gonna experience it, but you
going to
gotta
experience
you
it.
gotta be 10 toes down, okay?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
just advocate for yourself and just, not be so aggressive and not be so on guard where you're just like making everybody uncomfortable. Like just
right,
laugh it
right,
off and be like, boy, you don't cut it
right.
out. And if it gets too aggressive, then you be like, hey, this is uncomfortable. And if it gets really out of line, like if you're in a tour scenario, there's protocol. Go to the
Mm-hmm.
next person that you feel comfortable with, if that's the MD,
Yeah,
or if that's not the and he can talk to the
yeah.
guy that is doing it.
Facts.
If it is the MD, go to the tour manager. That's
Exactly.
what the person you tell. Like there is a protocol to like
He's
you can
he's
communicate
like,
with.
go to the MD, but he was the one that was
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
I didn't know that your brother was your brother.
Most people don't.
Let me tell you something. That brother is so talented and so funny. Like
he's
it's not a lot of people that
he's
really entertain me. But I would watch him. I'm like, this dude is funny. And then I realized the work that he had done. I was like, okay,
right,
this dude is no joke.
right.
In order to put work in like that, you got to have a serious side to get that work done.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever worked together? You ever talked to him about doing some things with
Yeah.
you?
So yeah, we've written songs together for sure. Um, it's funny because he'll say it to this day. He actually like wanted to become a songwriter because of me. Because he used to see me writing music, and
Mm.
he was just like, yeah, like that's how I learned, right? And so we have a special connection when it comes to that. Think about me and my brother. Well, as you can tell now that you know, stark different personalities.
Yeah, it's like your sister's right in the middle. I think. Well, which one is more outgoing, your sister or your brother?
Tunisia, well, as she's gotten older, she's calmed down. But I feel like the younger version of herself and Leon is comparable. They
Gotcha,
both have
gotcha,
the same energy. Like both,
gotcha.
my mom and I talk about that all the time. They're very similar.
I love it. I
Yes.
love it.
And then there's me. And I'm actually in the middle in real life.
Got you.
Yeah, our
Okay.
personalities are just very different. And he moves like that's how he moves. I'm
Mm-hmm.
more like Sky, we can just, take our time. And so it works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't.
Man, I get it. It's in the family, man. I mean, all you guys are gifted. Tanisha, like, she cooks and stuff, right?
Tanisha, it's funny. Like I feel like Tanisha is actually one of the most talented out of all of us because
Wow.
Tanisha can do so many things, but not so many things on a mediocre. She does so many things on such a high level. She's brilliant. You
I
know,
can
what
believe
she's
it.
done. She's had so many iterations. I don't know if you ever came to her comedy because you remember her being a comedian? Like she was doing comedy for a while.
I remember doing like skits and stuff that was cracking me up.
Alicia was the funniest person I've ever experienced. Like when I used to go and see her, people were, and I'll never forget this. This man was literally bent over, like crying, because she's just so funny. Tanisha's funny naturally, right? But her comedy, though, but she felt like it wasn't happening quick enough for her, so she's like, "No, I'm moving on." And then she started doing the marijuana, cannabis fused food and butters. Amazing.
Yeah, she got all the signs of a genius.
No, literally. Then she did during COVID, she did like a medicinal concoctions and stuff that was like curing people's COVID.
My Lord.
And she like so many things at like such high levels. Like she makes crazy websites. Like she does all her own brand. Like she's insane. And now she's a project manager because she just got a degree in a year and a half. Like she's just she's just high level, right? She's just amazing, talented.
That's a testament to mom. She had to
Strong woman.
not professionally, but just manage
Yeah.
all of you guys in general. Manage the personalities.
She is the anchor for, I know my sister and I, we have a three-way FaceTime all the time. But she is the one we go to when we're like, okay, God, I don't know. I'm tapping out. I don't know what I'm going to do here. And she's like the most encouraging. Like she knows what to say. She knows all of us, right? So she knows exactly what to say, how to say it. Yeah, she's helped us navigate thing. And I feel like the strength that we have is definitely because of her.
I can easily see that. You are more amazing than I thought you were. I'm so glad you took the time to do this.
Thank you for having me.
I've
Seriously.
learned so much more than I even knew. I just didn't know that we have so much in common. And I love the fact that you are doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And not only have I said it, friends of mine have said it. Are we the last generation that's really caring even about this kind of stuff? I was concerned. I want to give back, but I'm getting to the age now where the younger people be like, "Oh, this OG." So I'm like, "Who can I train to do this?" But you're there. I mean, we haven't even been talking. We keep
But I'm
up
like,
and
I
call each
definitely want to
other.
talk to you offline about this. Okay.
Oh, for sure, for
Like, don't
sure.
play with me. Okay.
You so get it, and I know a lot of people get it, but you get it, get it. It's clearly a God appointed mission that you're on.
Thank you. I appreciate
And it's the orchestration started as a child because that's what God does. He formulates us and molds us and shapes us as we grow, and we realize as we become adults the things we're passionate about, the things that move us, the things that pull us towards them.
Yes.
We're like, yo, that came from my experience when I was 9. My experience, that's why I'm
Definitely.
so passionate about this, and this is why I want to protect this person. And
Yes.
you just got to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so proud of you and impressed with
Thank
you.
you.
I'm so glad you took the time.
Thank you for having me. It's been so long since we've seen each other. It's
I
crazy.
know, and thank God because we're staying busy.
It's at the THE_360, the number 360 creative. And then Sharon Youngblood is all other social medias.
Love it. You beautiful, talented, amazing woman. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to be calling you so we can chat offline for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that we're on the same page. Anything that you need from me, I'm down for you, and I'm going to be calling on you sometimes too.
Please
All right.
do. All right.
Thank you so much, Sharon.
Of
I
course.
appreciate you. I love you.
Love
Love
you
the
too.
family. God bless you.